Sanson Designs.
Welcome to SansonDesigns.com. I am your host, Chris Sanson, and I will be teaching on how to use the pen tool in Photoshop. Let's begin. If you've noticed on the screen, I have a red square star, and we're going to learn how to use the pen tool to trace within this square star, and then we're going to add and subtract points to create a square and then a circle. After that, we'll move on to tracing a leaf, and then for proficient use, we'll learn how to trace the numbers 1, 2, 4, 7, and 8. Under this tutorial, I provided a link for the exercise file that you can use to trace along with this tutorial. It's called pentool.psd, as shown here. The PSD is the Photoshop extension, of course. When you open the file, make sure the Layers panel is open. If the Layers panel is not open, just go to Windows, Layers, or that shortcut F7. When the Layers panel is open, make sure that your background is turned on. Your star square is turned on by selecting that eyeball. And select the drawing layer. You'll notice the drawing layer turns blue. That means that is the active or selected layer that we'll be using. We want to draw on this layer because we don't want to mess up these other layers. Okay, let's use the pen tool. Go over to the toolbox, select the pen tool. I use the shortcut P. It's quicker to use the keyboard shortcut than to sit there and find the pen tool. Then I select the path icon in the control panel. This is the control panel, and select the path icon, and let's begin. Before we begin, just to let you know, this is the pen tool, one of the most powerful tools that can trace or draw anything that you want. The aggravation comes from not using it too much, but hopefully with this tutorial it'll provide you the guidance in getting you there. Okay, pen cursor is also the pen cursor icon, I guess you would say, the icon next to the pen cursor. Make sure you're always aware of those. They can save you a lot of time and frustration also, as you'll see. Okay, let's place our first anchor point. Click once with the mouse, and you've just now placed an anchor point. You'll notice that the cursor has an X. That means it's ready to begin, just so you know. And we place another anchor point, and you'll notice this anchor point is now selected. The other anchor point is now deselected, and the pen tool just combined two anchor points with one segment. Okay, now let's continue placing our points. Okay, now let's say you accidentally placed a point over here, and if you can tell that it doesn't look right. It doesn't look like it's tracing this outline as perfectly as it should. In Photoshop, there's many ways of doing things, but there's a quick couple ways to fix this. The first thing is you can press the delete key, which will move you back to the last segment, but also notice that your other anchor points are selected, and also notice your cursor. Your cursor has a hat through a line, which indicates it's going to join two open segments. We don't have the other open segment, but it is a cursor that you will see when doing this. Select that last anchor point. You'll notice you'll deselect the other anchor points, which is what you want to see, and then continue drawing your path. See, now we drew it a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. In Photoshop and also in Illustrator, you can use the Shift key to constrain it to perfect line. I know the pen tool does draw a perfect line, but it constrains it to like the vertical, horizontal, or 45-degree increments of that sort. And if you hold the Shift key before you click, it will constrain it. You can continue holding the Shift key as you place your points. Okay, and before you click this last point, just release the Shift key now. And I told you there was another way. Let's say that you accidentally drew a point way over here, or you place an anchor point way over here, and you say, oh boy, that's a mistake. How do I fix that? Well, the other trick is you can hold down your control key, hold down the control key, which will change it into the white arrow, which is right there, called the direct select, I believe it's called, but I usually just call it the white arrow or the shortcut A. Click over here in the background, which will deselect that path, and then click on that last point and drag it to where you want. Just think, you can drag it anywhere you want Just drag it to that last, right where you need it. Okay, release your mouse, then release the control key, which changes it back to the pin cursor. Now the pin cursor is that open segment cursor again. Select that last anchor point again, and then continue clicking, creating your path. Let's just make that mistake one more time. Okay, so we press the control key, changes to the white arrow, deselect or click in the background or anywhere off that path, which deselects it. Select the last anchor point and drag it to where you need it. Release your mouse, release the control key, select the last anchor point again, and continue creating your path. Before you click the last point, notice there's a 0 or an open O. That means that you're getting ready to close the path. You're at the beginning, and when you do that, your pin cursor changes into an X, which means it's ready to draw its next path.